Blood is becoming a scarce commodity in the south, with New Zealand Blood Service donor numbers in decline. Close to 150 names have dropped off the Otago-Southland database in the past year. While giving blood is free, the issue is an unexpected consequence of the struggling economy. Recruiter Leita Mackay is here to explain. Good evening, Leita.
Good evening.
Tell us a little bit about the figures that have the service concerned.
Well, yes, it is a concern for us both nationally and locally. And I have to say our local donors are fantastic, and we haven't dropped quite as much as in national figures, but it is still a concern for us. We've dropped close to 150 donors in the last 12 months to December. We want to stop that.
Have you typically been trending with a drop, or do you normally recruit new members and increase that number?
We're always having to recruit because we're always constantly losing donors for a number of reasons. They get older, we have to retire our donors when they get to a certain age. They get pregnant, they get sick, they've got medications, they go overseas, so it is an ongoing job. But certainly the drop in the last 12 months is quite noticeable for us.
What are the stories that you're hearing from people who are no longer donating?
I think the economy has certainly got a part to play. People perhaps can't get the time off work like they used to. They don't have the cover at work. Workplaces don't have the excess staff to cover for them. It's also partly to do with our ageing database, because our database, as is the general population, is getting older. So we do need to look at ways of particularly getting young donors in as well, so they can start that habit of a lifetime, like many of our older donors have for many years. We're a voluntary organisation as well, like others, struggling for members.
Have you ever spoken to any younger people and they've given reasons for why they wouldn't want to be a donor?
The biggest reason is just the fear of needles.
Oh.
People are frightened of needles. These are people who have never donated before. People do imagine it to be far worse than it is, honestly. Not everybody can do it, we understand that, but a lot of people also just don't try. Just try that once. You don't have to come back if it's not for you.
What happens in the blood donation process and how long does it take?
Okay, every time a donor comes along, they potentially save up to 3 lives by giving up pretty much 45 minutes of their time. It's the same every time they come. We will ask every donor to read a couple of brochures. They have to fill out quite an extensive health questionnaire, and the nurses will go through that with them privately. They also need to do, they'll get a quick thumb prick done at that point, and that's to check their iron level. That's all good. They're thrown on the bed, have a needle in their arm about 7 minutes on average, and then we like them to stay and have a drink and chocolate lickies, just to make sure they're feeling fine before they leave. So that takes roughly about 45 minutes.
And blood has a shelf life?
It does, yes.
How long is it?
A lot of people don't understand that either. It changes every time you donate, your donation for whole blood, that is, gets separated into the platelets and red blood cells and plasma. So the red blood cells only last 35 days. So that's another reason why we have to keep giving blood. The platelets only last 5 days. The plasma, most of that gets frozen and that gets made into all sorts of products. One of which is used a lot or particularly for cancer treatment. About 24% of the blood that we collect gets used for cancer treatment. So yeah, it's very important. Everybody knows someone who's had cancer, so we can help.
New Zealand Blood Service donor recruiter Leita Mackay, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.